Hey guys, in this video I thought I would do a solid for Ford. And my last video was 7 things that sucked about my 2015 F150 Platinum. A lot of feedback, a lot of negative comments, a lot of thumbs down. I was kind of surprised, shocked by it. So in this video, I'm going to do the 10 things that I love about my F150. Alright, number 10. We're going to count back from 10 to 1, per usual. Number 10, this motor above 3,000 RPM. It's a V8, it's a 5-liter V8, it's not the EcoBoost. If I was going to do it again, I probably would get the EcoBoost because it's a little bit, I drove a buddy of mine's truck who has the EcoBoost and it's got a little bit better low-end torque. But this motor, the 5-liter V8 at above 3,000 RPM, fantastic, amazing. Really happy with the motor. So that's number 10. On to number 9. All right, number 9. I'm going to wrap up a couple things with this. The first thing I want to talk about is the 4-wheel drive system. The ability to have 2 high, 4 automatic, 4 high, 4 low. And then in this truck, I actually had the optional locking rear diff. So to lock that, you just pull that out and it shows up on the screen there. And the reason why this is kind of a double whammy is the 4-wheel drive system works fantastic. In 4 automatic, it pretty much works seamlessly. You don't notice it too much. It does take a second for the front end to pay attention and kick in, but when it does, it works really well. It's quiet, it's smooth, and it's pretty much happening behind the scenes without you noticing, which is, for me personally, fairly impressive coming from a Ford truck. But the reason why I'm kind of doubling up on this one is when you look at the screen here, let me go to off-road status here, and you'll see so I guess I'm doubling up because the display is really nice. It's super clear, tons of information. Sometimes the notifications are a little annoying, but the amount of information that you get out of this display, which is, in my opinion, really handsome, is fantastic. And you'll notice when I pull the locking diff, you'll see it's locked. When I go 4 automatic, it'll tell you. Now when you're actually using it, it'll look a little bit different. But the fact that you have that information on there and you have the options, at least in a Ford pickup truck, to select basically all-wheel drive versus 4-wheel drive versus locking rear diff is really great. So that's number 9, doubled up. All right, number 8, power running boards. Magical. I love them. It's a standard height truck, but it's nice having the running boards, especially for the kids, the little ones, the wife. The truck's not tall, it's not high by any stretch, but when you go like this, when you close it, people geek out over it, and I love it. I love the fact that it looks the way that it does when it's rolled up like that, and then when you open the door, stupid, but kind of a geek, so I love that. On to the next one. All right, guys, number 7, the tailgate. Again, stupid, simple, but again, something I like. So there's a button underneath here. You press that. Probably seen that on tons of videos by now on YouTube, whatnot. The other way you can open it up is by using the key. Little button right there. You just double tap and down she comes. But the way the tailgate is held, I guess restricted or carried by a hydraulic system in the hinge, which is fantastic. But one of the coolest things about having this tailgate on this truck is I've got a topper on this. People love it or hate it based on comments. In my area, I gotta have it. I've got a bed rug inside, so it's basically a Taj Mahal back here. But what's really cool is I can have this all locked up. I can push this button, and then I can go, and there are the kegs that I will get filled later this week with some fresh Central Oregon craft beer. So that's number 7, the tailgate. It's It's nice not to have to hold the weight of that thing down when you got something in your hand, you're throwing your bike in the back or whatever you're doing. So number 7. On to number 6. Number 6, the box lighting, the factory box lighting from this thing. So in here you have a light right there. Take this off and you have a light right there. The button to turn it on is right here. That turns on. So you got this light shining forward. You got that light shining forward. But again, with the topper on here, I've got a light up there and I got a light down there. So at night when I'm doing stuff, back here is like lit up like a city. It's like a stadium. So just the fact that you have that much light even without the topper, it's just a really smart feature by Ford, and I use it way more than I thought I would. So really, really good thinking, and I love it. It's awesome to have that much light when you're camping out in the middle of nowhere. So great feature, something I love. All right, guys, halfway through it, and I'm on number 5. Number 5, just the general layout of the cabin. The room in the front and the back, kid's seat right there, obviously. The comfort of the seat, the adjustability, the layout. There's no glare at all bouncing off anything on the dash or the vents, or obviously it looks like there's a lot of chrome and stuff, but I actually read an article before I bought this truck where Ford did extensive testing in the reflective capabilities, or I guess properties rather, of the dash and everything else, and they did a great job. I've driven Mercedes and BMWs and Audis and Fords for a long time, and the German brands are kind of known for their interior layout and quality. And the layout in this particular truck is really, really nice. Everything is what you need on the steering wheel is here. Everything's where you expect it to be. So layout, fantastic. I always get compliments for people. They're like, "Wow, this is a truck." It's going back to that people are surprised by the fact that this is a truck once they sit inside. The other thing is, I mentioned just a second ago, is the amount of room front and back. I actually looked at a Toyota Tacoma, and I'll show you something that's kind of cool. The Tacoma didn't have as much room in the back or overall as this one did. And there's that horn. Listen to watch my 7 things that suck, and that's number 1, as you close that front door with your key in your pocket and that thing honks at you. But the back seat, I've taken my oldest car seat out. My youngest is over there. But one of the amazing things when both car seats are out is both the seats flip up, and you have this huge space down here. And when I go camping by myself or I go hunting by myself, I can fill this whole thing up. Obviously, I've got the topper on here, which again, people love or hate. We'll get to that later. But the amount of space that this truck has inside the cab, not only when you're traveling by yourself, but even when it's full up with mom and dad and the 2 kids, it's fantastic. Great storage space. So, end of the day, the layout, the cabin, the way things are put, where they're put, really, really good. So, love it. Number 4 is above me. Twin panel sunroof / moonroof. Love it. Extra option, not cheap. Super glad I did it though. This front half of the glass here, this one moves, so you can actually, that's the piece that moves. That back half of glass doesn't move at all. But having that piece of glass, the size of this greenhouse, if you will, is really nice. Here in Central Oregon, we drive over to the Portland area. It's a lot of trees kind of come up and over the roadway, so my kids sit in the back seat, I can pop that open, they can see the trees go by. It's just awesome to have that much daylight in a truck. So definitely gonna get it when I order my Raptor. Stay tuned for that. That'll be a while, but it's gonna be the same thing. Love the twin panel moonroof. Really, really nice. All right, number 3, the LED lights. So on the Platinum, all the headlights, taillights, everything are LED. The rings on the front and the back are LED. Turn signals, the lights in the mirrors are all LED. Ironically, the only lights that aren't LED are the fog lights. Now, I've replaced these with a Miramoto fog light setup, and I'll post a link to that in this video. And there's also another video I did entirely on installing these. It wasn't necessarily an installation video, but just more of a review video. But the LED lights, they look great at night. I love the way the LEDs flash versus the halogen. Just a new modern look. It's something you don't see very often on trucks, to have this much LED lighting pretty much throughout the entire truck. Brake lights, tail lights, running lights, headlights, and quite frankly, they work amazing. The high beams on this truck are phenomenal. And again, I live out here in Central Oregon, so there's a lot of dark roads between city to city, and you flip on the high beams and it's like daylight. It's fantastic. So yeah, love the LED lights. They look good, they work great. All right, number 2, I like the looks. It's a simple one, right? It's easy. You may or may not agree. Everybody's, looks are subjective and they can often be polarizing, but I absolutely love the way this truck looks. Going down the road, I've got the spacers on, 1.25" bore spacers. Again, I'll post up a link in the description on those. But this is just a handsome truck. To me personally, in black on black, just a handsome truck. And one of the better looking trucks out there. Toyota Tacoma looks really good in my opinion as well, but they just don't have the same. When I bought this in 2015, they just don't have the same feature set. So the looks, right? So subjective in my opinion, but I love it. All right, and the number one thing I love about my 2015 F-150 Platinum is the way it drives. This is a 2015, I got about 23,000 miles on it now. Going down the road, it's a long bed, it's a 6.5 foot bed, it's not the short box, the 5.5 foot, so that makes a difference, obviously the wheelbase being longer. But it's a wonderfully quiet, super comfortable road car. And I can't tell you how comfortable, or I guess rested, you are when you get back or you get to where you're going, even after really long drives. You couple the interior layout with the room and the drivability and how quiet this truck is, and it really rivals my wife's 7 Series. She's got a 7 Series BMW, and it's not as fun to drive as that car, but it's pretty much as comfortable. So the way that it drives, at least in the long bed version, is really fantastic. So those are my top 10. So hope you like this one better than my 7 things that suck. And if you have any questions or comments, post them up down below. I'll post links up that I mentioned before, and we'll go from there. Happy driving.